Math's pretty fun, but only when it's easy. Once you get to the harder problems, you start to get pretty frustrated and confused, right? And then maybe you try to read the textbook and maybe you end up being more confused and you start getting pretty angry, you start hating math and how useless it is, and then maybe you think that people who like math like me, maybe you think we suck at life. But anyway, there are different methods for studying math, whether it's solving multiple math problems, solving different types of math problems, or explaining a concept to a student as if you were a teacher. Now, plenty of students struggle with math, and even though many of them don't really care for the subject, I'm sure any student will want to know a solution to improve their mathematical skills. Now, obviously, I'm not the most skilled mathematician out there, but I have my share of struggles in math classes and with math coursework. And I've tested different study habits to see which one was the most effective for my learning style. And as a STEM tutor here at Citrus College, I work with multiple students who've also experimented with different types of study habits to see which method was the most effective for them. And so today I'm going to inform you on what I believe to be the most effective study habit for improving your mathematical skills. First, I will talk about the method itself, then I'll talk about how to approach the method, and then I'll give a scenario in which I applied the method to a set of math problems. So what is an effective study habit for improving mathematical skills? Well, trying to solve different types of math problems that revolve around the same concept will help strengthen your mathematical skills. See, when you try to solve a specific set of problems that look very identical, like integrate x squared, integrate x cubed, I mean, these kind of look like the same problems. So when it comes to the exam, in most cases, the problems on an exam that cover the same topic as whatever you did on the homework problems, they're not going to look exactly the same. And the exam problems are going to look kind of unsolvable. According to Clifton Parker in his article, Research Shows the Best Way to Learn Math, published in 2015, the best way for students to know math facts is by using them regularly and developing an understanding of numerical relations. So trying to solve specific types of problems that look very identical will force you to memorize a specific set of procedures, but trying to solve different types of problems will force you to become more familiar with a mathematical concept and help you understand why a concept functions the way it does. So now that I've gone over the study habit itself, I'll now explain how to approach it. So of course you can say I don't have any creative ideas, but basically, when dealing with multiple types of problems of the same concept that look totally different, just remember that the main method to solve them is the same. Even though the harder ones, they look like they need a little more analysis and thinking outside the box, the main method to solve a simpler problem and a harder problem of the same concept is the same. And according to G. Polya in his book, How to Solve It, published in 1957, he stated that try to consider your problem from various sides and see context with your formerly acquired knowledge. So maybe breaking down a harder problem into something that looks simpler or solvable for you can definitely give you a better understanding of how to solve a problem. So now that I've gone over how to approach the problem, I'll provide a scenario in which I apply that study habit to a set of problems. So let's say we have 3 math problems, and I said solve for x. So the first 2, these don't look that intimidating. So let's start with the first one. So x plus x equals 2. Just combine the x's, right? So 2x equals 2. Divide both sides by 2, and you get x equals 1. Now let's look at the next one. So you get 4x minus x equals 6. So combine the x's. 4x minus x, that's 3x equals 6. Divide both sides by 3, you get x equals 2. Now this one looks a little bit freaky because you're like, I got like the cube roots of x's. Well, maybe you're more comfortable with working with just x's. So let's rewrite the problem so then we have x's instead of cube roots of x. And now you got all these fractions, you're thinking, I'm only used to working with integers like 1, 2, 3, and 4. Well, just remember that a fraction is just 2 numbers being divided by each other. So let's see if we can simplify. So 161 divided by 23, that's 7. And then 9 divided by 3, well, that's just 3. So we can rewrite the expression like this, 7x plus 3 equals 100. Combine the x's, you get 10x equals 100. X equals 10. But we were working with cube roots of x, so we need to rewrite the expression like that. And you're thinking, how do I get rid of the cube root? Well, when dealing with square roots, we normally get rid of them by squaring the square root to get rid of the square root. So we can apply the same concept to a cubed root. We just cube both sides like this. So we get x equals 10 to the 3rd power, which is 10 times 10 times 10, which is 1,000. So according to the Complete Test Preparation Corporation in their book, HESI Math Workbook, check your equation to see if it looks like other equations that you've worked with before so that your problem can look solvable and it becomes more familiar to you. And based on the advice that both my sources have given me, I've effectively shown how to apply this effective study habit to a set of math problems. So now that I've gone over all my main points, it's time to bring my presentation to an end. So first, I talked about the effective study habit itself, then I talked about how to approach the effective study habit, and then I gave an example on how I applied the study habit to a set of math problems. I believe that an effective study habit for improving math skills is by trying to solve different types of math problems that revolve around the same concept based on my experience in research regarding math-related coursework. And as Albert Einstein once said, do not worry too much about your difficulty in mathematics right now. I can assure you mine are still great. Thank you.